Hello and good evening, and welcome to a long-awaited return of the Organist Entertains. I feel a little bit out of practice at saying hello and welcome to Bellshill Central Parish Church because these Friday evening gatherings have become that little bit more infrequent. However, the warmth of welcome that we extend to you to Bellshill Central Parish Church remains as large and warm and as welcoming as it's always been. Tonight we have some hymns and music based on a coronation theme. In the memories of Bellshill Central Parish Church from 1 year ago, we had some glorious pictures and reminders of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee in June of 2022. So, tonight we're going to reminisce back to 2022 with some of the items because I played a Jubilee recital on the weekend of the Platinum Jubilee here in church, and it included things like Crown Imperial, Zadok the priest, and I thought it would be good to share in those memories. Okay, you get to see the back of my head, but you get to hear a live performance of those items. So tonight we begin with that opening music from the Coronation. I was glad when they said unto me, and it's by Charles Hubert Parry. And of course we were used to hearing it with the fanfares from the Royal Gallery, the organ, orchestra and a superb choir. So tonight you have to just make do with little old me and Hilda Hilsden behind me as we open tonight with Parry's I Was Glad. I hope you enjoyed that rendition of I Was Glad, which of course has been and is such a piece of music connected with royal occasions, and particularly the coronations of kings and queens. We now have some music brought to you from the hymnal, and we're going to hear some hymns just running one after the other, but all with a royal or a coronation theme. We begin with the Old Hundredth. All people that on earth do dwell, and don't worry, we're not having the Vaughan Williams arrangement. We've had enough of that over the last year or so. We're having All People That on Earth Do Dwell with two varied accompaniments, one to start and one to finish, but then the four-part harmony for the middle verses, and I'm sure you're all going to enjoy singing it. Following on from that, we're going to have I Vow to Thee My Country, to that wonderful tune of Thaxted, which conjures up all sorts of images and feelings of patriotism and nationalism as we think about the coronation of His Majesty King Charles III and Camilla the Queen Consort. Finally, in this first set, we finish with Crown Him with Many Crowns. And we're not thinking of crowning the king as in King Charles with this hymn. We are thinking about crowning Jesus as King and Head of the Church. And that particular hymn, Crown Him with Many Crowns, has been requested by friend of the Organist Entertains, the Reverend Tony Newnham, who isn't keeping great, is suffering from some poor eyesight and general health and breathing issues. But we do know that you're soldiering on, you're doing all that you can, you're keeping as busy as you can, and that you're going to enjoy this hymn, Crown Him with Many Crowns. So our first set of coronation-themed hymns. Our next item of music is another request from Tony. He requests Zadok, the priest. Again, you're used to hearing this with organ, orchestra and choir. Tony recalls a time where he was asked to play Zadok the priest, accompanying a choir whose accompanist had succumbed to an illness or an injury and was either in hospital or recuperating at home. And at very, very short notice, Tony had to gather his thoughts, get his fingers moving in the right order, and play Zadok the priest. So this is based on the choral version, accompaniment, and choral parts, but it's all mushed together so that you hear the familiar organ, orchestral intro or accompaniment, and you also get to hear what people would sing. So thanks, Tony, for requesting Zadok the priest, and it's something that we're going to reminisce about going back to last year's Jubilee recital, so get ready for the back of my head. However, it's the Jubilee version of Zadok the priest, and I hope you do enjoy it. Our next two hymns again have royal connections. Praise to the Lord the Almighty, the King of creation, is a hymn which has been sung at royal events over the last years, and it's a wonderfully joyful and uplifting hymn, a hymn of praise to our Lord, the King of creation. The tune, Lobedin Heron, is a wonderfully joyful tune itself, and I'm sorry to our part singers, but I've meandered off into some No Rose Thorn last verses today, and it continues with praise to the Lord the Almighty. The second hymn in this set is requested from Lorna and Ian Patterson. Again, friends and followers of the Organist Entertains. It's a hymn from their own wedding, and it brings so many meanings and thoughts and memories of love to them both. And of course, it was sung at King Charles's coronation, and the tune is Westminster Abbey. So you couldn't get more coronation connections than this hymn. So thanks, Lorna, for requesting it. And we'll come back to a request from the Pattersons after these two hymns. Well, I said we would stay with Lorna and Ian Patterson, and we stay with them because we are having Crown Imperial by William Walton. And this is an item of music that again goes back to last year's Jubilee recital, so be prepared for the thinning back of my head. It's a wonderful piece of music, as is everything tonight. It's full of fanfares, and then there's that tune in the middle that everyone is going to know and remember. And if I remember rightly, perhaps in this one, I was last year using my tablet so that I didn't have lots of pieces of music flowing about. And I think you would call it a glitch error instead of a page turning error. I think I swiped too quickly or too far and moved 2 pages at one go. So I think there's a bit of an organist's pregnant pause in the middle as I recompose what page I'm supposed to be on. However, it was recorded live, so you have it warts and all, and I think you actually get to see the back of people's heads nodding away as they come to the part that they remember. I do hope that you enjoy. From the requests of Ian and Lorna Patterson, Crown Imperial by William Walton. Now, I think this is our last piece tonight, and I say I think because I'm recording this using my phone today, and the list is on the said phone, and I think I've managed to record things that I said I would. I think I've remembered to introduce everything, but we finish with a wonderful hymn. It's a hymn that was a favourite of Her late Majesty the Queen, and it's Praise to the Lord. No, it's not. We've had that. It's Praise my soul, the King of heaven, to the wonderful tune of Praise my soul. Now, some people don't like the arrangement that we're going to use, and it's the arrangement that we find in our Church of Scotland hymnals, and it's the version which has, and just let me find it, first verse in unison, second verse in harmony, third verse trebles only with a lighter accompaniment, verse 4 goes back to 4-part harmony, and the last verse goes back to unison singing. And this recording, in fact, this episode airs on the 9th of June 2023, and that is the anniversary of the passing of Betty Patrick, a friend of mine, a singer here in church. And it's when we hear things like this and we think about how joyful they are, and we think about the happy occasions that they're used at, for example, coronations, royal weddings, royal events, happy church services, and that the descant in Praise My Soul, the King of Heaven, doesn't matter where I play it or where I hear it being played. I hear the descant being sung, and I can hear Betty as clear as a bell singing away. So, yeah, we're here for the coronation, a belated Organist Entertained celebration, but through our music, we've met and performed and been together with so many people that we're thankful for the music, as Abba says, thank you for the music, that it's brought so much joy, it brings so much joy, and it will continue to do that. So for me, as I say, I hear Betty singing the descant, and you'll hear people singing that you've sung beside as well as you hear things like this. So yeah, we think back on loved ones and musical friends that we've had. We miss them, but we're glad they've been in our lives, and we're glad that we're able to be joyful together. And I do hope that you do enjoy our final hymn tonight. And I know that Elspeth Dornan, choir singer here at Bellshill Central, is certainly going to enjoy it. And she's certainly going to sing alto for all 5 verses, regardless of what I or this organ play. So, enough from me. It's not praise to the Lord the Almighty, it's praise my soul, the King of Heaven. Well, thank you for sticking with us tonight for this slightly differently presented Organist Entertains edition, where we use some archive recordings of things that we've had in the past. I just thought it would be good to go back a year, and gosh, so many things have changed, haven't they, that I just thought it would be good to go full circle. And we did have them last year for another joyous celebration, so I thought it was good to go back and revisit them. Thank you to the Pattersons, thank you to Tony. Elspeth, you didn't request Praise My Soul, the King of Heaven, but I know that you would have had I asked. Thank you to those who've requested. Thank you to you who are joining tonight live or throughout the week or the fortnight to come as you pick up this recording. We will come back, maybe not in a frequent schedule or routine, but we'll be back. We've got a big sing happening here at Bellshill Central on the 20th of August. We're teaming up with our friends that way from Newark Hill and Carfin Parish Church and their organist Duncan Mackay. We're going to sing probably his Coronation anthem, which he wrote for his choir for the King's Coronation in May, and potentially John Rutter's I Will Sing with the Spirit. We'll pick some joyous hymns, and you are invited. I've said this before, we've never actually had our big sing. We're booked now, so mark the date in your diary, 20th of August, 6:30 here at Bellshill Central. There'll be a afternoon choir practice, so the likes of John Hume perhaps might want to come along. Sheila Miller might want to make a little trip up from the borders. There's umpteen people that watch. I forget your names, but you're all welcome to come along to augment our choir or to come and sit in the pews and sing along with everybody. Sing in person with this organ that you've been listening to for at least the last 3 years by the medium of YouTube. So, thank you for joining in. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that you've put up with some tuning issues. I can't remember if I mentioned this at the last episode. The church was extremely busy at Christmas time, and over the course of a week the church was probably used about 7 days in the trot, which meant heating was on and things fell off, bits and pieces where they were supposed to be, and that meant that the horn, the main reed rank of pipes in the organ, sounded a little bit like the Queen Mary leaving Southampton in not a good way. So our tuner Paul Miller worked wonders. The heating was set to come on because all us organ buffs know that the building has got to be heated correctly on the day that it's tuned, and the heating for some reason didn't come on. So he did his best to, well, he put things back together the way they were, but he did his best to tune it, and he did a grand job. But as the summer temperatures are coming in and we are on a maybe more even keel temperature wise just now, the tuning is starting to pull apart, and you do hear it at certain times in today's recording, but I do hope that you persevere and put up with it and it's not too off-putting. So get some requests in for the next time. Tell me your favourite hymns. If you've sent me some and they've not been included, then I've mislaid them or I've lost them. So please do send them again. Don't give up if I don't do it. So Ed, send me your requests. I know that you are very, very faithful at sending a list, and I'm sure that I've lost it. The same for you, Thelma. I know that you've sent lists and requests faithfully. Please send them in again, because it's been that long since we've had an evening like this that they've been deleted or mislaid in the inbox. Andrew, you get requesting too. Sheila, you get requesting, and we'll have them all included. So anyway, I have now chit-chatted, gibbered away far too long. So thank you for joining us for tonight's special episode, and we hope to see you soon on another Organist Entertains, and keep the date in your diary for Sunday the 20th of August for when we have our first big sing since we've came out of lockdown and returned to as normal as things are ever going to be. So thanks once again. Stay safe, keep singing, and good night.